Good morning, students. Myself, Professor Vikram Kulkarni, Maharaja Jivajirao Singh, Srigonda. I am working in Raja Shikshan Samstha as a junior college teacher in mathematics. In 12th, we have two parts, part first and part second, out of which in part second, we are going to study the definite integral, chapter number 4. Definite integral. Students, we have studied indefinite integral. Indefinite integral. We know that the definition of indefinite integral is derivative of f of x is equal to g of x. If derivative of f of x is equal to g of x, then integration of g of x with respect to dx is equal to f of x plus c. F of x plus c. That means this part is a derivative. This part is a derivative, and this part is an integration. Firstly, you must know that the appearance of c, that means it is a indefinite integral. And when this c is not present, then it is a definite integral. Because c is a constant of integration. This c is a constant of integration. And in definite integral, the constant of integration do not appear in any integral. Then through this definition of definite integral, we want to know the change in indefinite integral with respect to definite integral. Now, this definition is converted into definite integral by we have derivative of g of x is equal to f of x. Therefore, integration of f of x with respect to dx is equal to gx plus c. Gx plus c. There is no mention of gx and f of x. It can be changed. Then integration of f of x with respect to dx is equal to, with limit a to b, is equal to g of x plus c with limit a to b, where a is called as lower limit and b is called as upper limit for this definite integral. Then the change is given by upper limit with respect to lower limit. Then x can be changed with b. That means g of b plus c minus g of a plus c. This c can be appears in both upper bound and lower bound. Then g of b plus c minus g of a, and this minus sign appears on both. That means minus c. Minus g of a minus c. Then this c gets cancelled. That means g of b minus g of a. It is the integral of g of x with respect to dx with limit a to b is equal to g of b minus g of a. That means there is a no presence of constant of integration, that is c. There is a no presence of constant of integration, that is c, in definite integral. In indefinite integral there must be presence of c, that means constant of integration. But in definite integral this c gets cancelled and we get g of b minus g of a because of upper limit and lower limit. We have to study the algebra of definite integral. Properties of definite integral. Properties of definite integral. First property is integration a to a f of x with respect to dx is equal to 0. First property is integration of f of x with respect to dx with limit a to a is equal to 0. We have integration of f of x with respect to dx is equal to g of x plus c. It is the standard definition of integration. Then LHS integration a to a f of x with respect to dx. We can prove this property by simplest way, that means LHS goes towards RHS. Then LHS is integration of f of x with respect to dx with limit a to a. By definition of integration, it is a g of x plus c. G of x plus c by definition. And with limit a to a, it is the same limit a to a, and lower limit and upper limit here same. Therefore, g of x plus c is replaced by a. This x is replaced by a, that is upper limit, and minus g of a minus plus c. It is also replaced by a. It is a lower limit and it is a upper limit, by g of a plus c minus g of a. This minus sign apply on both cases, minus c. That means there is a cancellation of all factors g of a, c and c. Then we get 0 is equal to RHS. Therefore, integration of f of x with respect to dx with limit a to a is equal to 0. That means integration of any function with same limits, lower bound and upper bound, it is 0. Now, second property. Second property is integration of a to b. Integration of a to b. F of x with respect to dx. F of x with respect to dx is equal to integration of a to b. F of t with respect to dt. That means there is a change in a variable. Here the variable is x. Here the variable is t. Now we have integration of f of x with respect to dx is equal to g of x plus c. It is the standard form of indefinite integration. LHS integration a to b f of x with respect to dx. F of x with respect to dx with limit a to b. Then by definition it is g of x plus c from limit a to b. Then we get g of b plus c minus g of a plus c. By cancelling x, it is a g of b minus g of a. It is equation number first. We solving or we simplifying this LHS into g of b minus g of a. Similarly, RHS f of x with respect f of t, here change in a variable. In RHS, change in a variable f of t with respect to dt, and limit is same a to b. And by definition, here the variable is x, but it is a standard definition. Then there is a use of integration of f of x with respect to dx is equal to g of x plus c, similar with variable t. That means g of t plus c integration a to this variable is changed only. Here variable is x, this variable is t. By applying lower limit and upper limit, we get g of b plus c minus g of a plus c. Then we get g of b minus g of a. By cancelling this constant of integration c, it is equation number 2. From 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, we get integration a to b f of x dx is equal to integration a to b f of t that means we proved the second property. If there is a change in a variable, if there is a change in a variable as a x to b, there is a no change in the value of the definite integer. Next, third property is there. Third property, integration of a to b f of x with respect to dx is equal to minus b to a integration f of x with respect to dx. This property states that if we change lower bound to upper bound, we change lower bound to upper bound, there is a change in a sign. There is a change in a sign of the definite integer. That means here the lower bound is a, upper bound is b. In RHS, lower bound is b and upper bound is a, due to which there is a minus. Similarly, we have integration of f of x with respect to dx is equal to g of x plus c. By definition of indefinite integer, LHS is integration of a to b f of x dx. We know that the integral is g of x plus c. That means integral of f of x with respect to dx. This lower bound and upper bound, we get g of b plus c minus g of a plus c. By applying minus sign, we get f of g of b plus c minus g of a minus c. We get g of b minus g of a. But we can take minus sign is common to change lower bound and upper bound. we take minus sign as a common, then we get g of a minus g of b, because we take minus sign as a common. Then we can adjust plus c also by minus sign g of a plus c minus g of b plus c, and it is minus sign integral b to a f of x. It is a integral of f of x with respect to dx as a b to a, and it is RHS. We can repeat a to b f of x with respect to dx. F of x with respect to dx as a lower limit as a b to a, then there is a negative sign. Why this appears? We have integration of f of x with respect to dx, g of x plus c. It is a definition of integral. Then we take LHS, integration of f of x with respect to dx as a to b. Then we apply this definition g of x plus c as a to b. Then by applying lower bound and upper bound, we get g of b plus c minus g of a plus c. By applying minus sign on both, we get g of b plus c minus g of a minus c. This minus c is cancelled, then we get g of b minus g of a. We can change lower bound with upper bound by taking minus sign as a common. Then we get g of a minus g of b with minus sign as a common. We can take adjustment of c, and after adjustment of c, we know that the property is b integration of f of x with respect to dx as a b to a, because it is a upper bound and it is a lower bound. Upper bound is a and lower bound is a b, and there is change in the sign, that is a minus. Hence it is a RHS, and we can say that integration of f of x with respect to dx from a to b, it is changed by sign by taking upper bound as a and lower bound as a b. It is a third property. It is a third property. Fourth property is integration of a to b, integration of f of x with respect to dx as a to b, f of x with respect to dx as a to c, plus integration of f of x with respect to dx as a c to b, where c lies between a and b. C lies between a and b. That means c is greater than a but less than no. By definition, integration of a to b, f of x with respect to dx is equal to g of x plus c. G of x plus c. There is no limit. There will be definition. Now, LHS. We know that integration of f of x with respect to dx as a limit a to b, we get g of x plus c as a to b, and we get g of b minus g of a to the equation number 1. It is LHS. It is a LHS. Now, similarly for RHS, Similarly for RHS, integration a to c f of x with respect to dx plus c to b f of x with respect to dx. That means this property states that a to b, this lower bound and upper bound is break by this lower bound a and upper bound b is break by c by taking c is between a and b. C is between a and b. That means for example when we take interval 0 to pi, 0 to pi, we know that this is 0 and it is a 180, that is pi. Then we have to break this interval such that 0 to pi by 2, 0 to pi by 2, and second pi by 2 to pi by 2. That means we can take an element or the number which is between, we know that it is a 0 to 180 and pi by 2 is a 90. Therefore 0 to 90 and 90 to 180, and which follows 0 is less than pi by 2 less than pi. And with these properties mentions that if the number is lies between lower bound and upper bound, we can take separate limits. Then my definition, g of x plus c from a to c plus g of x plus c, that is b c to b. By applying definitions, g of x plus c, by taking x as a c, minus g of a plus c, and second g of b plus c minus g of c plus g of c plus c. By changing g of c plus c minus g of a minus c plus g of b plus c minus g of c minus c. This c is cancelled with this c is cancelled with this c. Lastly, g of c is also cancelled with g of c. And finally, we get that g of b minus g of a, g of b minus g of a, which is equation number 2. It is equation of 2. And from 1 and 2, we get that LHS is equal to RHS. LHS is equal to RHS. That is integral a to b, f of x with respect to dx is equal to a to c f of x dx plus c to b f of x dx. This is a fourth property. In this lecture, we have studied the definition of definite integral and the properties from 1 to 4.